welcome to my channel and my annual Wrap With Me gift video. And the fun part about today's video is I actually got super crafty and made my own gift tags with my Cricut Maker, so I'll show you how I did that later. But I asked you guys for questions on Instagram. If you don't follow me over there, you should. It's aplacetonest Becky, and I got some great questions I'm going to be answering while I wrap gifts in today's video. So the first question is, do you ever get burned out on cleaning house? If so, how do you get out of that rut? I'm currently in a rut with housekeeping. The messes affect my mood and make me feel blah. I'm not OCD or anything, I just like a decently clean home. It is one goal daily that I try to achieve, but feel like I work circles trying to achieve something that's never obtained. I definitely know how you feel, but I think that's kind of the nature of the beast with housework. It's never going to be done. So I think part of the battle is realizing that it's never going to be perfect, and as soon as you clean something up or organize it, chances are it's going to get messed up again. But I think the thing that helps me, and I'm like you, I get really moody if it's messy. It just puts me in such a bad mood and it's overwhelming. So I think part of what really helps me is thinking of taking care of my house and cleaning and organizing and stuff as not only something that I enjoy for myself, but it's a way that I serve my family. So whether they appreciate it or not, and I hope they do, but whether or not they do, it's something that I can do for myself and for them that I feel like it's never going to be perfect. But if I'm trying my best and I'm trying to make a cozy home and a safe place and healthy, cook healthy meals as much as possible and all of those things, those are ways that I serve my family. And so when I think of it that way, I don't get quite so annoyed when there are messes that kind of keep cropping back up. But I also think it's important to make sure that people in your family are helping you. Okay, the next question is, how do you balance homemaking and homeschooling? I'm currently struggling in this area and would really love to hear your suggestions. It's a definite struggle for me. And for me, it's not just homemaking and homeschooling. It's also my job, which is YouTube. And then I do all the bookwork for the family. So it's making all the phone calls and paying all the bills. And that doesn't sound like that's that time consuming, but that job alone, just doing all the bookwork, is really involved. I keep spreadsheets for all of our credit cards and medical expenses. There's always some phone call to make, always something that needs to be done. Every time the mail comes, it's kind of like a new thing that I have to deal with something and paying all the bills and doing all that stuff. Plus homeschooling, plus trying to take care of the house, plus doing my YouTube channel, which is a job, and I do spend quite a bit of time on it. So you pick the right word. It's balance, but it's just like anything. You have to be as smart with your time as you can, and you have to try to be as efficient with your time as you can. And I think if you're like me, that's something that comes and goes. I'm better at that some days than others. I think the thing that helps me the most is being as strategic and intentional with my time as I can. So I try to use my downtime as smartly as possible. So for example, usually there's at least an hour or two during the week that I am waiting for the girls at different types of activities. And so I try whenever possible to save my YouTube work that I could do, away from the house with my laptop. I try to save as much of that as possible for when I'm gone waiting on them. So I'm not just sitting there scrolling on Instagram or, goofing off, which is fine if that's what people want to do. But I try not to do that because in my mind, I think that is work that I'm getting done while the girls are occupied that I don't have to take away from family time, or that I don't have to take away from taking care of my house. I don't have to take away from, my workout time during the week. That's time that I'm getting done making smart use of my time. So I will, as I'm making my to-do list for the week, if I know I've got something coming up on Thursday where I'm going to be just kind of sitting around, I'll be like, okay, well, I don't have to edit this video right now. I can go work out or make dinner or clean now, and I'll save that to do later. So I try to be really smart about that. Sometimes it's a matter of getting up a little bit earlier and getting some stuff done before the girls get up. It's all really, it really is. You have to kind of be like the wedding coordinator of your own life, paying attention to the details, knowing what needs to be done first, prioritizing those things and letting the chips fall where they may with other things. Giving yourself grace to know that you're not going to get it all done. So trying is going to just frustrate you because you're not ever going to get it all done. And then at the end of the day, as long as you are keeping your kids happy, healthy, and safe, then really homeschooling is more the priority during the day than making sure your kitchen is perfectly clean or the making sure, you go and, decide to deep clean the living room, whatever the situation is. Those things are important too, but it can be really hard when you're trying to homeschool to not be distracted by all the other things you have to do. I have that struggle every single day, especially because our homeschool room is in my office. I'm sitting at my desk while I'm trying to homeschool, and there they are, the bills that are sitting on the desk waiting for me to pay them, or, that phone call I need to make waiting to be called. That is really hard for me too. And so I know how you feel, but I try really, really hard to stay focused and plan the other things I need to do for after school or in those little pockets of time that I have throughout the day to really balance getting as much of everything done as I can and letting everything else kind of go. Okay, the next question is, I have 2 boys, ages 9 and 12. We are a Christian family, all born again, saved believers. I was raised in a Christian home. My husband, not so much. I'm trying to teach my boys about prayer, how to pray, how important it is. Any tools, books, etc., or advice? Well, that's obviously going to be very personal to you and to your boys. What books we have used obviously might be different than the ones that you might use because I have 2 girls. But really, obviously the Bible is the place to start, and making sure your kids have access to a Bible, their own Bibles. And you can get those at Walmart. You can get them at discount stores. There's tons of places to get them. They don't have to be expensive. So that's the first thing. For my girls, and for me also growing up, I think it was really important to be in church. Now, I don't know if that's going to cause a problem with your husband. I don't know if he's going to agree with, you taking them to church. But I definitely would fight over that. I mean, I would go to the mat with my husband about that, because that is your child's faith. That's their eternity. And so I know as a Christian, you understand the weight that has, the value that has, the importance that has. And not to say you have to go to church to be saved, because you don't. But I think it's going to help them to grow their faith when they're hearing the Bible lessons and they're with other believers and they're with other kids. And, it's fun too. I'm not going to lie. There are plenty of times that I'm sure my girls have gone to different activities at church just because they wanted the social aspect. But at the end of the day, they're still there. They're still in the right environment. They have such moldable hearts, especially at that age where, they're more receptive to hearing things than they would be if they were older. So I think finding a good church to go to, not just on Sundays, but, the kids' activities, most churches have VBS. Most churches have Bible study or life groups, whatever they call it now. When I was a kid, it was Sunday school. Most churches have Wednesday night church. A lot of churches have summer activities. So I think that's really important to get them in church. And then teaching them how to pray you're going to be their best model for that. How you pray and seeing you pray is going to be the best example for them. And, kind of not making it a stressful thing. You talk to God just like you would your own father, but of course with the ultimate respect. But he still wants to hear from you, even if it's, driving in the car, on the way to a football game. It doesn't have to be just, a super, super rigid and regimented activity. It can be anytime, anywhere, any place. The important thing is that you do it. And so I think you're going to be their best model for how they should pray, and understanding that God wants to hear from them all the time, big or small things. And I think that helps take the intimidation out of it, especially for kids. They don't think, I thought it has to be like talking to the principal. Obviously there should be respect there, but there's still the relationship there of that God is our Father, our Heavenly Father, and He's their Heavenly Father. And so you can tell Him things just like you would, your dad or your mom. And then as far as books go, any Christian bookstore, just hang out in. Go look through all the shelves, see what types of books are out there, what types of books you think your kids are going to be interested in. There's devotionals, there's gratitude journals. There are so many books out there. Amazon's a great resource. I just make sure when I do that I get books that have free returns. I have them sent here. I look through them, or I'll have the girls look through them, and then we decide which ones we want, and we return the rest. So for us, it's been the best way to do it. Most of the Christian bookstores, if not all of them in my town, have closed down. So Amazon is pretty much my go-to when it comes to any book, even religious books. And the next question is, how do you handle bad days in homeschool? My kids are in a season of complaining and not motivated. I'm struggling to keep going. Yeah, we've definitely had those days and weeks and months. Different times, different stages. Sometimes it's something that just goes away in a day or a week. Sometimes it lasts a little longer. I guess it depends on the reason why they're complaining. If they're just complaining because they don't want to do their work at all, then maybe it's time to take a little break, or make sure you're scheduling in recess or a snack time or something like that. Maybe they're complaining because they don't understand the material and they're frustrated, and that's coming out as complaining. You really have to be the one to gauge what they're complaining about. But if it's just good old-fashioned complaining for no good reason, then there may be some type of consequence that you would want to suggest that might happen if they can't do their work nicely and without complaining. Whether that be they don't get any screen time, if they can't do their best work without complaining. And maybe it's just a matter of having a sit down with them. Why are you complaining? Why are you so frustrated? It really just depends on the situation. You know your kids best, and you know kind of why they're complaining. But in the past, typically when my kids have complained, I've always said that if they're going to complain, I'm going to give them extra of whatever they're complaining about. And that usually seems to do the trick. But obviously you wouldn't want to do that if they were complaining because they're struggling with something. So that's why I say you have to kind of feel out the situation and decide why they're complaining, what the real root of it is. And then make the best decision from that. But just know that you're not alone. We all have bad days and weeks and months in homeschooling. It's normal. Just try to not let it get you down too much, because it won't last forever. The next question is, how do you handle anger as a parent? Well, I think I was a lot more angry when I was a newer mom, because I was 23 when I had my oldest. I'm the youngest of all the cousins. I have an older brother, but I was always the baby of the family. So I had never babysat. I'd never even changed a diaper when I had my daughter. And so I think my anger in the beginning came from honestly being overwhelmed and not knowing what to do. Now, as time has gone on, I have leveled out a lot. I've kind of not stressed out about stuff as much as I used to. And I think for me, it's patience, practicing patience. And that doesn't come naturally to me. I have a very easily irritated personality. And so to me, being patient is definitely a habit. It's something I have had to work on myself to get to a point where I'm pretty patient and I can take a lot. And so I always try, and I say try, to stop myself, because I can feel when I'm about to lose it. I always try to stop myself before I say anything and really choose my words carefully, because I can't take them back once I say them. And there are still times that I have lost my temper, yes. And when that has happened, I've always apologized, even though that for me is also difficult to apologize. I think it's important, even if it's to a child, because that shows them that parents aren't perfect, that we make mistakes, and that when we make mistakes, we apologize. Controlling my anger and being more patient have definitely been a learned skill that I'm still not perfect at. That you have to be really aware of in that moment. You have to really kind of in tune to yourself to know when you're about to lose it. And if you feel that coming on, that might be the time to take a little break. Say, you need a timeout as the parent, and you need to have a little minute to yourself and kind of regroup, gather yourself together. What do you want to say? Kind of plan it out in your head, and then go in and talk to your child about it before you just completely blow your top. That's kind of what I've done, and it has worked out really well for me. And as somebody who is very high strung, pretty hot-tempered, I would say it was pretty successful. So those are all the questions that I had time to answer in this video. I didn't want it to be too long, and I feel like it's already borderline getting pretty long. So at least you guys got to see all of the gifts being wrapped, the gifts for under the tree and the stocking stuffers. I try to take a lot of pains with decorating the tree, the presents that go under the tree, but with the stocking stuffers, I literally just rapid fire wrap them, no bows, just kind of get it done. I usually use the leftover paper that I used from the bigger gifts so that I don't waste paper, and then I use that for stocking stuffers. So now that all the gifts are wrapped, it is time to put on my custom gift tags that I made with my Cricut Maker. I had never made anything like this before with my Cricut. I've done lots of labels and things like that, and you guys would have seen that in videos before, but it was super fun once I figured out how to do it, and I thought you guys might like to see. I found some really cute tag templates in the images section of Design Space, and it's already got the little cutouts Some of them even have writing on it because Cricut makers can write, which blows my mind, and it's super satisfying to watch it write. This one I actually just found a tag image, and then I took the to and from font from a different tag that was already made and put it on my own tag. So you're able to do that if you want. You can also just use them the way they are and write on it with your, just your hand. But I thought it was really neat that it can write with a marker in the Cricut Maker. And so I wanted to try my hand at that since I had never done it before. And I made a couple different tags. I made the little Christmas tree cutout tags. I made the shiny ornament tags, which are the girls' favorite, and I have to admit they're my favorite too. I also did some super shiny green Christmas trees, and it was so easy to make. And it's one of those things that with the Cricut Design Space, there are templates already on there that you can use and just open it up and have it cut it and write it if you want. And then there's also blank tags. You can just be as creative as you want, just based on how much time you want to spend or how crafty you are. I love that there is a project on there for everybody, no matter what skill level you are, no matter how much time you have. Just throw the tags in there, stick some cute cardstock or shiny cardstock on your mat and let the machine do its thing. Go off and do something else, have some hot chocolate, whatever you want to do. Come back, your tags will be ready. And I think it just adds that little bit of extra detail to a gift when you're putting a custom tag on there. So as usual, I really enjoyed my Cricut Maker. I really enjoyed learning how to do yet another thing that it can do, and it can do so many things. It can cut so many different types of material, and like I said, it can write even, which just is amazing to me. So I will link the Cricut website down for you in the description box. You can get a maker if you want. You can also get the Cricut Joy, which is smaller and a little bit less expensive. And it would make a great gift. This time of year, it will be a perfect time to give it to somebody that has been wanting one, or that you think would want one, or to ask for one yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and this year's wrap with me. I try to do a different version of this every single year, and I really appreciate you guys asking me those questions. And I'm sorry for those of you who I didn't get to your question, but I'm just too long-winded. I just talk too much about everything, so that's why I ran out of time today. But if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. I will link my testimony video, my homeschooling playlist, and my gift giving playlist. There are so many videos in that playlist, tons of gift ideas for the kids in your life, a few in there for men, a few in there for women. So definitely check that out if you need some gift ideas, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.